Look, everyone. If you scroll down from this video, good luck. I believe in you.
There we go. That's the first clip. Right, I'm going to do the intro, and then
Okay.
and then that'll be a great.
And then you're going to do the outro.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, welcome to this podcast. Bye.
This is going to be so much worse to edit than I thought it was going to be.
Sorry.
I really had it down as a linear thing, and it's going to be at least one point where I'm going to go to the end to go back to the beginning. But it's fine. It's my own fault. You know, I said there was a structure, and that I'd abandoned it completely.
I did text you that this morning. I was like, 10:30. He's like, yeah, there's no structure. And I was like, okay.
Yep. I mean,
and it happened.
Why bother? Just embrace the nonsense. It's how it's always going to happen. So,
yeah.
Welcome to the Hobby Happy Hour. This is a podcast where I sit down with a friend, old or new, to talk about not sort of the hobby, kind of points. I think we touched on it like twice, which is rapidly becoming the standard.
You mean we will touch on it twice?
We will touch on it twice. I'm definitely not recording this at the end of the episode, so that's fine. My guest today is Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming, and
hello.
I can tell you right now that we play this completely by the structure, by the book. No tangents, no surprises.
Book of chaos.
Enjoy this completely standard episode where everything goes exactly the way you would think it would. And also, thank you very much for watching this episode of the Hobby Happy Hour. I'm just going to cut that in half and then put it one bit at the start, one bit at the end. And that's the best you're going to get. I also flubbed the intro for the first one last week, just immediately. I just got the name of the show wrong, completely stumbled over my own words, and left it in, because...
Excellent.
Why would you not? I figure if it's going to go off the rails and just turn into, like, waffling for an hour, then might as well lean into it. There's no point trying to hide it.
Just own it. Own it.
That's
the best thing to do.
People are going to expect that anyway, so...
Yeah, I'm the same, because obviously a lot of my content's live, so if I fudge it, I fucked it. It's out there already.
Yeah. Oh, trying to do the stream yesterday was bad.
Yeah, I was lurking for a bit. I was playing Zelda at the same time, so I wasn't talking too much, but I had it on the side. When I shouldn't be working, obviously, watching YouTube, I play Zelda.
I do that a lot. I'm like, I need to do this thing. Oh, but you're streaming. Okay, I'll watch that instead. And then it's like 2 hours later, and I've gone, oh, wait, I've done nothing that I meant to do. Whatever.
Yeah.
The flubs were bad, though. They were bad. The hangover was not conducive to being able to talk properly. Oh, so yeah. What I think, just whatever comes up is going to come up. I have like two things that I really want to ask you about. So
sure, lead the way. I'm sure it'll be fine.
Probably one of those things will come up at some point. So that'll be fine.
As I said, mate, this is all golden content, and we've not hit record yet. So we should.
I have now hit record. It's been going for like 5 minutes. So
good idea.
The start of it is just going to be.
Just outing me. Yeah, Mikey, that YouTuber, just plays Zelda and watches YouTube all day. Yeah, I mean, my job's so hard.
And me immediately agreeing as well. Like,
it is. Yeah, me too.
Yeah. I'm changing things so I can work better. And now I've just confessed to just sitting there watching streams instead of doing anything useful. So it's just as bad either way.
It's so hard. It's so hard to play models and talk Warhammer all day, and all we do is play Zelda and watch YouTube. Oh dear.
It's just feeding into that thing of content creators don't do anything. They just get sent stuff by Games Workshop.
Privileged bastards, that's all they are.
They just do nothing. Although I'm exempting myself from that. I don't get nothing from them. So
it's just me.
I'm in the clear. I'm in the clear. I'm also like a massive hypocrite in the same way because I emailed them and they didn't email back. So it's not like I didn't try to be that content creator. It's just that they didn't let it happen. So
I know. They should have just gone. Here you go, and then you can join the Silver Spoon Club. I'm going to start calling it
the Silver Spoon Club. I actually really like that.
Everything tastes better on a silver spoon, and everyone knows it.
It also doesn't work because I get sent stuff by other companies anyway, so it's just like it's still the same. It's just not from the main thing the channel's about. Like I must have sent you the picture of like the giant stack of Archon Studio stuff I've got at this point. And I'm hoping to do something with them again this year. And I'm like, I'm 50-50 excited and genuinely dreading the box that arrives, because every single time it's like, we're going to send you the sprues for the new Kickstarter. And I'm like, that's brilliant, thank you. And then the box that arrives weighs more than like my child does. And I open it and there are new sprues. There's 4 new sprues at the top. And then it's just packed full of dragons and D&D scenery and models. And I love it. And it's like... So, I am complaining about it, but in an ironic way. It's like kind of like, this is amazing, and I can't believe that you keep being this generous to me over and over again. But on the other hand, if that shelf collapses when I'm next to it, I will die. I will actually fall and die. You will kill me.
I'm sending you the invoice for a new shelf.
Invoice and the cost of the funeral. That's what you're getting when the giant pile just collapses on me. And every time I make a dent, that's when something else arrives. And that's why it's starting to feel like there's like, is it like Roman or Greek myth or something where there's like a guy who pushes a boulder up a hill every day and then it rolls back down? It feels like that, but with painting D&D scenery, where it's like, okay, I've just got through 8 boxes in like a week. That's great progress. That's awesome. The new box arrives. There are 20 boxes in it. And it's like, but I just got rid of some of them, and now they've multiplied. I'm in a worse position than I was in terms of like painted plastic.
Kirioth really said, hobby burnout is from all the 3 boxes I have to move. Quotation.
I mean, you know, it tastes. Hobby burnout tastes better when it's on a silver spoon.
Yes, there we go.
It's not a genuine complaint. It's a silly complaint. It's fine.
It's a DJ Khaled suffering from success. Oh my god. I can't paint all these free models.
Literally just the me with that guy with all the limes but holding boxes of scenery. It's just that.
On a serious note, they must really like appreciate what you do. They must be like making a big impact on their sales. That's why they keep sending you stuff.
I hope so. I mean, it does also help that like I do have moments of like, oh god, there's so much more to paint. But I also don't help myself because I have supported like multiple of their Kickstarters because we play D&D twice a week. And we've gone from like...
You talk about it on the channel all the time.
Yeah, and it's like we've gone from having like the same 3 tavern layout paper maps to having fights in sewers and castles and like full like mansions. I built like a massive multi-tiered courthouse out of like 4 of the kits that was the scene of one of the battles that we had. Like being able to go, okay, you're ambushed in a city, and then I just get a message like a week before from whoever's DMing that session, and it's just like, can you build me a city street? And it's like, oh yeah, I can build you basically a city centre. How many buildings do you want? Do you want roofs? Do they need to be accessible, or can they just...
You need a mall.
Yeah, basically, yeah. Do you need a Victorian mansion? Because I can do that if you would like. And it's just so much... You can do it with paper maps, and that's absolutely fine, and I'm never going to suggest that that's like a worse way to play, because that's how we played for years. But if you've got the option of being able to go, okay, this is what I think this tavern looks like, and you can do that fully like in 3D and actually have tables and chairs and scenery to move, and like you can present the building as the party's approaching it, and then take the top floor and the roof off to show the bottom floor, and then as they work their way back up, you can then take the roof off, and then they can see that. Like, it's just another level of enjoyment out of like battle maps. And so it's like I kind of sit and I go, oh god, there's so much more to paint. But then when I do paint it, and then we do use it, and I take I've got like a massive picture frame that I build all the maps on, walking through and plonking it down, and it's like, here is a full city street with houses on either side, or a giant warehouse full of crates and barrels, and it's got a roof, and it's got like a little balcony and stuff. And every time your reaction is, oh, that's amazing. It just never ever gets old. It's just every time it's like, that was totally worth it. I'm well happy with that.
I agree. I think it's one of the big things I love about D&D is just the diorama of it all, the grandiose of it all. Like you can do a lot of paper maps again, as like a lot of people do that. And most of the D&D I've played has either been on paper or via Discord.
Yeah,
because I played a lot through the pandemic. So like I've never really had that, but I bought a 3D printer during the pandemic just because I was like, you know what, I'd really like to make D&D stuff.
Yeah.
And then play like a physical version or any type of role play. Obviously, back burner now. No way, no time for that.
Yeah.
But like having all of the stuff there to like maneuver around, to like actually see, because obviously everyone's imagination works perfectly fine most of the time, and they can work out what's there. But having it physically there as well is like you're all on the same level playing field then, and you can like all experience that together, I guess. It's like being in a boss room, right? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
That's one of the main things. Is like when you're in a boss room, you kind of like, oh, where am I? And he's like, especially over online, it's like, where am I? Oh, you're like 50 feet away. Okay, I'm gonna run 45 feet towards it. It's like that's not what I do. I just move. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I just move a guy.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like 3D stuff in D&D.
It's like an extra level of immersion, isn't it? And it also, especially if you're playing with like physical minis and stuff. Actually, with stuff like Hero Forge and like Eldritch Foundry and stuff, being able to just make your character, and most of the time you can get something that's maybe not like 100% how you envision it, but like close enough, or just buying like a WizKids miniature, or doing what I tend to do, which is
going through the box of free miniatures, diving in like Smaug. Where is it? Where is it?
Duck it, just like dive straight in off the diving board. Or the last like 3 characters I've built, I've not used any of the miniatures they've sent, which is stupid because there's loads of them. Instead, I've kit bashed a Warforged Artificer out of an Ambot because, you know, I think that was maybe like the 10th Ambot kit I'd bought by that point. It's bad. I've got too many Ambots. And also, he has Enlarge as a spell, so obviously I had to make an enlarged version of him.
Of course.
Because what else are you supposed to... Actually, what I did was I just took one of my Gargants for AOS, one of my Realm of Metal Gargants, and just adapted that, which now means that if ever I need to take that army somewhere, I need to remember to get that out of a completely different display cabinet. Otherwise, I'm going to be a model down because it just lives in a totally different room now because it's used way more for D&D than it is for what I actually built it for. And then the other two were both like Eldritch Foundry. So
I was going to say, you should have just got like your Warforged, your Ambot one, and just put like a magnifying glass on it to enlarge.
That'd be great.
Oh my god, it's huge! Look at that!
Get one for everyone, and every time they look at him, you just have to...
Whoa!
Oh my god, he's massive.
There you go, you know for next time. If you need another one, enlarged.
I'm going to use that as a cheat. Why bother scaling up the model to 3D print when you can just buy a magnifying glass? Just do that.
Whoa, how big that is! Crazy.
Less risk of failure. Like you're not gonna lose like the FEP just from a magnifying glass. You'd be fine. Just do that every time.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh no! Oh, damn it! I used the word. I said FEP, and that's just reminded me that I need to replace them in both Saturns, which is why I haven't 3D printed anything for months because I don't want to do that. I've already done it twice before on other printers, and I am not interested in doing it again. So every time I'm like, okay, I've got something coming up I could do with a model for it, I just look at the 3D printers in the garage and just go, I'm going to just see what I can buy.
I'm going to have a look.
Find something else.
Mate.
It's the
Both
worst.
my printers have been broken as well. Like my Mars 3, the motherboard is broke, so I'm waiting for a replacement to turn up. That's going to take 21 days. And then my LG Saturn, I was taking a print off, and I was like undoing the knob at the top, and somehow I threw the build plate with the knob still in hand, threw the build plate into my vat and smashed the screen. So smash bust the FVP, smash the screen. So then I replaced the screen, which is very expensive. And now
Yeah.
it's like I don't know if it's the models I've been printing, but I've been having loads of issues with it. So that's been a pain in the bum. But I do have a Saturn 3 arriving this week, the new one, which is quite cool.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's yeah.
Not the Saturn 3 multi ultra extra HD mega 4K one or whatever it is. I don't know. Just the normal Saturn 3.
Yeah. I think which one was it? The Saturn 2 that I got?
I think so.
3?
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's so hard to keep up. It is so hard to keep up. Like, it feels like every time you blink, there is just four more printers. Like, I remember, I still haven't managed to finish making the video, which I really should, for the Neptune 3, the Neptune 3 Plus.
Yeah.
Was it Neptune 2? No, Neptune 3. But
Neptune
like,
3, yeah.
They sent that. I got it all set up. I need to get more footage of it because I made a bad mistake and I didn't level it before I set some printing.
Wasn't that nearly a year ago when you got
No. I've done that. I've done that twice now, and the second time was way worse. The second time was I set it going and then I went out for like 48 hours. And then I came back and
went out for milk.
The entire, like, we were just like, I can't remember where we went. We went out somewhere and ended up staying with some friends, and it was just like, okay, it's fine. I'll just leave it. All good. And then the morning of coming back, I was like, did I level the bed before I set that going? Because last time I did that, it was really bad. I really hope I leveled the bed.
Mate, and rookie error.
Yeah, no, I didn't do it again. And this is like after I'd already got that. Did you see the picture of that just massive?
Oh yes, I did. Where you just decided to just fill your nozzle and all of the inside parts with plastic. Yep. Yeah,
that but worse. Cool. That but
worse. Made a plastic cast almost of the inside.
Yeah, it was like it was so much just melted plastic that had to be then heated and then peeled away, and then had to replace the nozzle again, and then realised that the fans had gone on the head.
That's just a new print head. Just
clogged.
Just call it a day. Call it a day. You know what? Let's put that one on the shelf as a reminder not to do that.
It's just like I can't blame Elgu for that. That's just me. It's me being dumb. That's 100% dumb on my part, and I did it twice. Like, if it was once, it would be bad. Doing it twice is unacceptable. Like, that's just a complete lack of any sort of thought going on there. It was just like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I leveled it. No, I totally didn't level it. No.
Mate, you should always check the first layers. That's #1 rule. Wait for the first layer to print. Does it look all right? Right, I'm out.
The problem is that I got so overconfident with it because I got that printer and then I immediately just sent it to work printing the Chaos Citadel that Dark Fantastic did. And they were like, okay, we've got this Kickstarter. We don't have long until it goes, because I just messaged with like, this looks amazing. Can I try and print some of it and then do a video? And they're like, yeah, that's fine. And sent the STLs over and I started going. And that Neptune 3 Plus did not get any testing at all.
No.
None.
You were just like, work monkey.
Yeah, I got it. I set it up. I leveled it. I put the reel on and I went, go. You're doing this every single night for the next 2 weeks, so I hope you like it. And it did. To be fair to it, it was absolutely perfect. It printed... I think I've got like 2 pieces left, and then I can make basically a fortress wall that would take up about the size of a like kill team board. Like,
wow.
Just all around. And then having printed a lot of that, then I realised I needed something for D&D, so I printed something for D&D. Then I realised I needed to print a ship also for D&D, so I started printing a ship for D&D. And it was only when I forgot to level the bed once that first mess happened. And since then, I've done it twice, and it's just been
take this.
So reliable until I messed it up. That's the thing. It's like I don't know how to really emphasize. Look, it's grand. It did a great job. It was put to work immediately. It did it without complaint. The prints are really good, and then I messed it up, and it's just it's not the lad's fault. He did what he could. but he was neglected, so you got to
You
give him a break.
him.
It's not
You
his fault.
him, and then when he was left alone, he gave up. He was like, "Dad, I can't do it anymore.
I can't do
you
this.
worked too hard. My poor nozzle is bone."
It's like just trying to get a cry for attention, a cry for help.
Yeah,
please do some
pay
maintenance.
attention.
Stop just leaving me to
Stop
print.
making. Oh, look, I finished printing. Oh, why are you pressing? And just plastic just skis out. No, Dad. Because obviously 3D printers talk from the nozzle, right? That's where else are they going to talk from?
It's got to be the nozzle. Yeah, it got.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Oh dear.
You know what? Should I? I'll do an intro.
You should probably do an intro now. Yeah.
Like, if I don't edit anything out, just 20 minutes in, let's do an intro.
Whoa, thanks for tuning in, everyone.
Now I feel like, okay, I'm just gonna wait and do it right at the end, and then put it at the front. But I'm also gonna leave this conversation in about when to do the intro, because I feel like this is only the second episode being recorded, and I feel like the character of this is already making itself very, very clear. Quite. There's no point fighting it. I think it just might as well go on with it.
They're privileged YouTubers that don't even record intros until the end anymore. They're so lazy.
Don't even stick to the format of the thing that they made. They just ignore it.
What were we talking about again? I don't know. How we hate 3D printers because they're a pain in the arse. And silver spoons are really tasty.
Yeah, silver spoons are really tasty. And it's really hard being sent free stuff. I think that is the main things that we covered.
Oh man, we are digging ourselves a grave here, mate.
It's made additionally worse because the Neptune 3 was sent for free as well. So it's.
I was keeping that thing quiet. Oh no! No! Yeah, just like it's our career's over, mate. That's it. It's fun. It's fun.
Going to be the last episode of this podcast, even though it's only the second, and it's going to be the last one because I'm just going to have to quit. Just going to have to leave, go into hiding.
All our sponsors are pulling out. They're like, in a bit, lads. Have fun. Happy hour. This.
Look, we heard you talking about how much you like our stuff, but the rest of it was not acceptable.
Listen, guys at home, listen. Just because of this podcast, go buy every product we've ever mentioned. Okay, every affiliate link, just buy the shit out of it because we are fucked now. Oh dear.
Gonna need even more members because we're gonna have to pay for things now. There's no way that it's not.
Can't have to buy things. What the hell? What do you think I am? Not privileged? Cringe, mate. Get out.
You know what? Weirdly, that is one of my favorite misconceptions that I've seen from quite a few people. Where it's like, if you get some free stuff, that means you don't buy anything. Not true.
No.
Not even slightly true.
No.
I mentioned backing Kickstarters earlier. Like the amount of plastic up there that is,
and then you back it anyway.
Yeah, it's entirely like.
Maybe that's why. Maybe they're like, we can take this cost of sending it to him for free because we'll actually make the profit when he buys it as well.
Yeah, it's like the last 3-4 biggest boxes I got were because I backed the Kickstarter that I was also promoting. So it's just like same thing for like being sent stuff by Games Workshop as well. Like typically, I'm guessing. And as I say, I've not got anything from them, so I'm assuming that it's not getting like the new box sent for promotional purposes. That's one thing. Saying to them, "Look, you need to send me a 2,000 point Eldar army for next month." Mate. That doesn't seem like that's not equivalent. That's not the same thing.
No.
they're not like lining up to give away 2,000 point armies to content creators, because why would you do that? That's just not gonna. It's so not worth it. And let's be honest, a good chunk of us, them, everyone is gonna buy it anyway. So why would you?
Yeah, exactly. It's like it is smart what they do with like this free stuff, because it's like all it does, it just floods the market every weekend of like Warhammer, and it's like it's so what they do is just like everyone's like, oh yeah, everyone gets free stuff and we hate it, but like at the end of the day, every time you go on YouTube, every time you go on Instagram, every time you go on Twitter, every Saturday, even if you weren't thinking about a pre-order, you've heard about it because somebody's posted like, oh, thanks Games Workshop, here's a really cool model, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it makes so much sense why they do it. But and then you become wise to it. You're like, oh my god, I'm part of the problem. I'm part of the machine.
There's so much of like, oh, wow, I really like this thing, and I want to talk about this thing, but then in talking about it, am I not advertising it? But then even if I'm saying that I'm not a fan of it, that's still technically advertising it because I'm mentioning it and it's becoming more prevalent. And
so anyway, make sure you use Kyrios affiliate link to Element Games in the description to anything that we talk about.
100%.
Or hobby products. Make sure you use a code. I'm sure you've got a code for some crystals or something.
Get more Artisoka stuff because there's you get extra for that.
Do that.
Genuinely true.
There we go. See, we're part of the machine and we feed into it for social. Our own gain. But yeah. But it does also, because we have so much Warhammer. I just want to buy more. That's my problem.
And it's a lot of it, especially in my case, is just completely non-functional purchases where it's just like, I don't need this for anything, but I could turn it into something fun. So I'm going to do that. And it's not even for the purpose of like, okay, I'm building this army. A lot of the time I'll just see two models and go, yeah, but if you ram them together, it would look really interesting. And then I have a model that I have absolutely no use for whatsoever, and it just sits there, and I don't... Case in point, I've got a guy here. I've got Sigvald, kind of. Except he's got like tree bits coming out of him, and he's got like a different head, and he's got like some roots growing out of his neck. And
does he still have his ass hanging out?
He does. I've not got around to working out how I'm going to sort that yet. He's still got it hanging out. I don't know why. I don't fully know why I own him. Honestly, I liked his model, and I liked his cloak. I wanted to paint the cloak, and I wanted him to be a weird tree vampire, and so now I have him. Where does he fit? I don't know. I have no army that can possibly take him. I've got like the Haunted Sylvaneth stuff. Technically, I could maybe slot him in as something in there.
Yeah, that'd work.
But even then, that's not even a full army yet. I've got like 5 Revenants, a Tree Lord, and Drycher.
What is an army but just a physical representation of whatever happened in your brain that day?
I mean, pretty much that's all mine are at this point.
Yeah.
Apart from the Armour Company, that's functional. That is
Armour Company is just Armour Company, yeah. Yeah, the boring of the armies of what you've got, because everything is just chaos otherwise. What is this? No, but it looks cool, and I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, why'd you make that then? I don't know.
Just happened. Took a little bit out. Like Gandalf taking a memory out. Here you go.
Oh, you're going to get people angry with that, surely. Surely it was Dumbledore that took a memory out.
Oh, yeah, Gandalf.
Put it in the basin.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I've watched Harry Potter maybe once. And I hate the author, so I mean, that's fair enough. It probably probably better than it was Gandalf. Probably better. Yeah, Gandalf's cool.
I just remember reading Harry Potter when I was a kid, getting partway through, and getting to the bit where, like, wherever it was where the kids were outside of the school for the first time for any prolonged period, and immediately, even as a child, thinking, wow, she can't write anywhere that isn't Hogwarts. This is amazing. What the hell is she talking about? Like, just immediately being like, these are good books, to, I don't think these are good books, and then never going back to it.
No, it is all just rose-tinted glasses at this point. Ask anyone, like, at age, like, 20, and, like, what do you think of Harry Potter? They're like, my age, like, 30, they're like, oh my god! Like, anything younger, no one cares.
Yeah.
No one cares. Just a massive turf. Anyway. We've gone through that bit.
It's not quite as... I feel like the cultural fall-off hasn't been quite as instant or severe somehow as Game of Thrones, though. That's still the one that sticks out.
That holds a record. Yeah.
That is genuinely
what a weird
incredible
thing that happened. It was such a great show. It was so good. It was so good. I loved it, you know? I was like, you remember when it used to come on in America first? You have to wait until like 3 a.m. to watch it live. Yeah. I watched it every week at 3 a.m. I was like, I hate my life. I've got work at 7 in the morning. watch it anyway. There's like pictures of me and my friend, my old housemate Jack, and we're just like, and like you can see like bags under the eyes. The latest episode's on. Hey, kill me now. But yeah, what a crap ending.
It just blows me away every time I think about it. It's like this was the biggest show like
Ever.
on the planet. It's just like the biggest franchise to suddenly take everyone by storm. And then the only conversations that I ever have with anyone about the show are how badly it ended. Yeah, it's like it's just no one ever sits there and goes, you know what? I actually really, really loved it. I've never heard anyone say that. It always is, I loved it when it started. It was really great halfway through. And then I don't know what happened. It's the worst thing that I've ever seen.
Yeah.
But that's the generous kind of interpretation of it, because most people are just like, yeah, that was bad. And then that's all you get. That's all you get out of it. Oh my god!
It's so funny that what are the directors called again? Because they were off to do a Star Wars thing, weren't they? That was the whole point. That's why supposedly that's why they rushed it all, and then that project got dropped. I'm just like, yeah, you deserve that. You deserve that.
Given all the time in the world and like an unlimited budget, and they were like, no, we're finishing it in one season. Why?
Yeah.
Why though?
Yeah, they could have dragged it out so long. They could have kept going, made like season 8 into 5 more seasons, probably. Each episode into a season. Everyone would have watched it. We'd still be watching it now. But oh my god, winter's coming soon, boys. We're still going 5 years later or whatever. I don't even know. When was it? 2019? 2018? 17? Oh my god, it was so long ago.
I don't know. You know what?
So long ago, it's dead and rotten.
When was the final season? Oh, I haven't got my glasses on. Oh no.
Oh no.
2019.
2019. Okay, yeah, 4 years ago. Oh dear.
It somehow feels like longer. It's become one of those like defining events that always feels like it was only like a couple of years.
It's like a dead meme.
Yeah, it just won't go. It just stays. Yeah. It lingers. It was not that long ago, and it also feels like for the longest time I can remember how Game of Thrones ended up being really bad at the end. Even though that's not true. I kind of hold it up there as like when you discover like Warhammer for the first time. It's like, yeah, and also in that same year, Game of Thrones finale. No, that was 4 years ago. It wasn't 20 years ago. What are you talking about? Oh, it's just so bad, it's rippled backwards through time and infected everything else. Just with how awful it was.
It's just so weird. And they were like, you know what? We've got expectations, and then we can subvert the expectations. Let's subvert the expectations. That'll be a really good idea. Yeah. Like, shut up.
You don't need logic. You just need to subvert. That's all you need. Yeah. You don't need to have things make sense. If things
it's okay sense, if we've guessed what's going to happen. That's fine.
Yeah, that's like
that is allowed.
In a lot of media, the thing you want is for the audience to follow along, like kind of extrapolate, and then have that moment of that all those connections I made, they turned out to be true. That's really
it's called fan service, and that's fine.
It's
just
also
we got it.
It's so many good books and stuff where, especially if it's like a mystery, if the end result of whatever the mystery was is this person you've never seen before, never heard of, who didn't show up until the last 2 pages did it, then that's bad. You've written a bad mystery.
Yeah.
That's no good.
That's not a mystery.
That's
just a fuck you.
It really is. The same thing with like Sherlock, that series where it started out okay and then it just got bizarre and weird. Like this person was killed by a famous killer. Oh, okay. No, it turns out they were killed with a boomerang. How would anyone know that? Like, I literally remember the scene.
Like a one-off, it's fine. But if it's just like a recovery occurrence, like the entirety of Game of Thrones, like in the last season, just went all those things you thought. No, nope,
none of that.
Nope,
not having any of it.
Nope, not a fan. Don't like it. My turn. Railroad time.
Turns out it was all irrelevant. All the stuff, all the things, none of that mattered. We were just going to ignore all of it. It's like, but actually would have been better if you hadn't done that, but it's a bit late now. It's a bit late.
Yeah, exactly. Again, like as you say, like Harry Potter, even though like again, like the younger audience don't care, people do still care about it. Like again, our age, your age, anyone, they still like people like still are aware of it. There's still merchandise that's coming out. There's games that are coming out for the better or worse, but people still talk about that series. But like with Game of Thrones, again, like there's no merchandise anywhere. You can't walk into a I don't know what type of shop, but like I don't know, like a Forbidden Planet or whatever, something along those lines, like a comic book shop for anyone who's not in the UK doesn't know what that is. And go, oh yeah, there's comics and merch there, but there's no Game of Thrones unless it's in the sales bin that they've had for 4 years.
Yeah.
one lowly Jon Snow figure with his sword that's probably bent because it's been left in the window for 4 years, and it's like, oh, curled over. It's like, please, sire, take me home. Because he would call you sire, because he's not the fucking king, is he? Because he should be, but he isn't.
It's true, he didn't want it. He said it so many times.
I don't want it. I like how I put a Yorkshire accent on. I could just talk normally, but I don't want it. Yeah, take it, lad. It's all right, mate. It's all right, pal. And he killed Stannis. Ever since he killed Stannis, right? I know. We should stop talking about Game of Thrones. He's so dead. But ever since he killed Stannis, that show fell off. All right, Stannis the Manis was the best character in the show.
That's like the fork in the road between good and bad was that moment where it's just like, oh no, that's it, it's gone now. Although Stannis did also like burn his kid, so I don't know.
Listen, it's all fictional, okay? It's fine to appreciate the man of many talents, such as fakes and stuff.
I don't know if burning your kid counts as a talent.
Listen!
I don't know that counts.
Don't out me like this. It's all fictional. It doesn't matter. I'm not that guy who sits on a plane and the kids start crying. I start going, electric chair. Shut up. Anyway, I said I'm not that guy, just to clarify.
Yeah, no, dude, you can't.
I did say I'm not. Allegedly, I'm not.
I love the idea of filling in a form. What are your talents? Well, I can play bass guitar. I'm good at painting and pretty good at burning kids. Like, you do not have the job. You don't have the job.
I'm really good at woodworking, especially steak building. That's what I'd write. Yeah, I mean, I would have never write that. Oh dear.
I wonder if this is going to get demonetized. I feel like there's a good chance that it is.
Just stop. Get rid. This is a bad idea.
I just want to do a gentle reminder that at the start of this, I told you what the original premise for this podcast was, and how it seemed unlikely to ever be that. I didn't think we'd get to where we've just gotten to by like the second episode, but somehow we've managed it.
Oh mate, this is a disaster. This is so funny.
So does this one?
Here's a tangent. Here's a tangent. Do you know the meme of like you said, like good side, dark side? Of like the guy, and it's like a dark castle and like a funny field. Did you know that's a Yu-Gi-Oh card?
Is it really?
Yeah, it's the artwork from a Yu-Gi-Oh card. I can't remember what. I'll find out. But Yu-Gi-Oh, let me find out. See what it's called. I'm sure it'll pop up.
So now I need to know,
not pop up.
Is Yu-Gi-Oh another hobby? So if we got 40k 3D printing, Magic the Gathering, D&D, and Yu-Gi-Oh? Because if so, how do you have any? Do you sleep ever? Or
I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't play Yu-Gi-Oh anymore. It's a 2 roads or 2 path. That's what it's me. It's based on the Yu-Gi-Oh card Dramatic Crossroads. There you go. That's where the meme from.
I had no idea of that.
No, I finally found it out recently. It's a trap card. Activate only one of these when you take battle damage. Your opponent must activate one of these effects. Discard one random card in your hand, or your opponent looks at your hand and can add one card from your hand to their hand. That is a very dramatic crossroad for that trap card.
That's pretty dramatic.
Yeah. But no, I haven't played Yu-Gi-Oh in a long time, but I used to play it quite competitively before I started playing Warhammer competitively.
Oh, really?
But yeah, so like basically, for some reason at college, uh, all of my friend group got really into Yu-Gi-Oh, and we used to have like a cafeteria or something where everyone went. And when you're at college, if you're watching from America, like in the UK college, you have class, and then because you get to choose your four choices, they just like shove you in random places. So you'll have like a lesson at 9 o'clock in the morning, and then you'll have like 3 hours before your next lesson. And I was like traveling like at 45 minutes, so it was like I'm not going to travel 45 minutes home to travel 45 minutes back, so I just stay at college. And then we all really got into Yu-Gi-Oh! It's like a pastime. so, so we were just like, oh my god, why are we playing Yu-Gi-Oh? But then there's like maybe like 3 or 4 of us playing, so we'd like have like 2 games, and then we'd swap over. And then it got to a point where we had like a small Yu-Gi-Oh cult, where there's like 20 of us all meeting up every day to play Yu-Gi-Oh in the cafeteria, and it's like we just like take over half of it, and it's like, oh my god, what is happening? Why are we all playing Yu-Gi-Oh in public? This is so weird.
That's. I had a similar college experience, but weirdly with playing pool, which I'm not good at pool, and it didn't help, to be honest.
That is like kind of one of those things that you grow into probably around that age, like 17, 18.
It was for the same reason where we, like, having picked all the things you wanted to do. There was one day where we had we had a lecture at like 9 o'clock, and then we had one at 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
And so just the middle of the day was just a wasteland of nothing. And you could go and work and like actually do stuff that you were being taught, but that was not the best option when there's literally a pool hall 5 minutes walk away from the college.
I mean, what else are you supposed to do?
Yeah, it was literally like, okay, we have finished this. We've finished this. Oh yeah, it finished at 9:45, not 10 as well. So it was even more of like just that extra 15 minutes was like, well, we could just walk over and play some pool. We basically just lived in there, just
Nice.
once a week, every week. Half of the class would just get up and just go straight to the pool hall and just play pool all day, and then go back for, I can't remember what the last like lecture was. Only that by that point, none of us cared. We were not, because we'd spent the whole day doing basically whatever we liked, but in this weird gap where you couldn't really do whatever you liked because you had to attend something later on. So it was kind of like, well, we can't just all go home because some of us live further away. I was like a 15-minute bus journey, so it would actually have been fine, but why would I do that when I could just go and, hang out and
Play ball?
It was just like, it made that day basically a total waste of everyone's time, including the actual teachers, because it was just like,
because you don't care. You're just thinking about shooting some pool.
Yeah, you just sit there at 9 o'clock thinking, oh, cool, well, when this is finished, we can go and enjoy ourselves. And then as soon as you've finished enjoying yourself like 4-5 hours, it's like, oh god, now we got to go and listen to someone, and none of us can be bothered with that. So just show up at the end of it and just be like, okay, fine, and now we can go home. Great. It's just didn't work at all.
No, exactly. It was so funny. It's just one of those things, and it's just like, when you got that much time, what else are you supposed to do when you've got all your friends there?
Yeah,
and you got expendable income as well. Whether it was like, I was like getting, what was it called? I used to get like an allowance from college. I used to get like 30 quid a week or something from college, because my parents I live with at the time, like my parents I live with at the time, the parents I don't talk to anymore, I live with, didn't have jobs or anything like that. So I was like getting like free money from the government just to turn it up. All right, what are we gonna spend it on? Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Let's go, baby. And it's quite funny as well, because like when I applied to college, I know again we're on a tangent now, but here we go. Yu-Gi-Oh. When I applied to college, I wanted to do music production with my friends, like my 2 bandmates. One of them, my ex-housemate who we used to watch Game of Thrones with. I wanted to do music production, but I couldn't read sheet music, so they didn't let me in. I was like, I don't need sheet music to record my band. All right, what do you mean?
That's actually That's kind of a weird exception to me, because I like the music course at the college I went to. They would just like, oh, you're interested in this thing, okay, Like, there were people doing music production. Well, I know full well there were people doing music production there that didn't have any sense of, like, just any sense of, like, well, music. Like, they were tone deaf.
Yeah.
Like, they couldn't pick out a note being different to another note. And I know that because it's one of my friends, and they did really, really well. And they didn't know how to read sheet music. And it was just like, well, yeah, you don't need that for recording and for, like, editing and processing and producing and stuff. So that's a weird exception to make.
It was literally, what is it? Is it Top Gun with the movie or something else with the movie where it's like you can't fly a plane, so you can't read? It was literally, it literally felt like that.
Yeah.
I was just like, what do you mean? I had a really good understanding of MIDI. I'd use MIDI a lot, so like making digital music. I could play multiple instruments. But I couldn't read sheet music because I played bass. I just read tabs. Like, what else could I read? You know. So yeah. Anyway, it was really so like I basically had a year of like, well, I don't want to get a job. I want to stay in college with my friends. So I'll just choose 4 subjects that I'm kind of care about, and then because of Yu-Gi-Oh, probably I didn't really study that hard because I didn't care about that year, doing A levels instead of a BTEC course.
Yeah.
So I ended up spelling out with my 4 courses, dude. I got 2 D's, a U, and an E. Because I had a great time. I really enjoyed college that year. And my teachers were all great. But one I did computing and I hated it, and then I got a job in programming. But like I did like archaeology, got a D. English language, got a D, and then E. Oh, I can't remember what I got. I think it might have been media of all things. And look at me now. But then I applied to the music technology course the year after because it was an A level which I applied first time, and then I applied to the BTEC course. You need to read sheet music on the application. I was like, right, lads, this is all I've studied for. You know, can't remember how to read it now. Something about a cow down the side. I can't remember. There's some rhyme. I don't know. It's something. That's all I remember. Something about a cow, about where the C is on the bar. But then I was like, okay, I can read sheet music. I'm ready for my interview, you know. And it was like, oh yeah, you don't need to read sheet music. Excuse me, what? I'm just wasting a year of my life waiting so I can reapply. And now for the full-time course, which I could have gone for, you don't need to read sheet music. And then I was like, but what about the A level? It's like, oh yeah, they teach you sheet music. I'm wasting a year of my life. All my friends are a year above me now. I'm joining with these little young 16-year-olds. I'm 17. I'm so old compared to those. So
I cannot work out the logic of that at all. I would be beyond angry. I'm just like,
mate,
why?
I'm 29, right? And one of those years I wasted playing Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay. The entire year, all just playing Yu-Gi-Oh.
And then you've gone on to move into a field where you could still be doing Yu-Gi-Oh stuff, but you're not. So even then, it was just like,
mate, it was trash. That's why. But that's also the year I got back into Warhammer. Because one of my friends, Alex, who's one of my closest friends, he's been on the channel multiple times. If you ever see the big Bardsy bloke playing Tyranids or Custodies, that's Alex. He's one of my closest friends. And whilst we were started dabbling in Yu-Gi-Oh and stuff, I can't remember. Well, maybe it was around the same time. It might have been just before. He comes in reading Horus Rising, and I was like, oh my god, that's a Space Marine! I know that because I've played it at school and got rid. And then he was like, oh yeah, I've got some Tyranids, and I was like, oh my god, I've got 1 Space Marine. And then that was it. So that's when I got back into Warhammer as well. It's like while playing Yu-Gi-Oh. And look at me now. Talking rubbish with a legendary person like yourself about Yu-Gi-Oh! How I wasted a whole year of my life playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And getting free money from the government. Oh my god, oh no, I'm the problem. Oh no!
It set you up perfectly now, though, playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For a year to...
I mean, to what?
Stuff, I don't...
Just stop.
I couldn't even... I was like, wait, maybe
nothing there.
Magic could work into it, but I don't even... I don't know whether they're similar or not. I'm assuming probably not, so...
They're very... I mean, they kind of go hand in hand. They're all card games, right? But they are completely different.
I was going to say, if... I don't know.
I started playing Magic around the same time as well. it was that time I kind of got like back into Warhammer, and then I was playing at my local store Outpost, and it was like when like 7th edition of 40k. Was it 7th edition? It might be like late 5th. No, it was like 6th edition when I got back into it, because I started playing at the start of 5th, and then I got back into it in 6th edition. But 6th edition only lasted like 2 weeks. Remember that? Remember the edition that lasted like 18 months, and they're like, yeah, it's just shit, let's start again.
I kind of came...
It's happening again, guys. It's going to happen again any minute. And 11th edition's going to be out.
I kind of came in like... I came in at 3rd, then stopped playing for a bit. I think I definitely skipped 6th, and I think I skipped most of 5th.
It was a fleeting memory of 6th. That's 18 months tops.
I came back in for 7th, and then as I started picking stuff up again and got a Strike Force... It was Strike Force Ultra that was 7th, wasn't it? Or did I just manage to get hold of that when that was...
Maybe?
I think that's the right edition for that. Either way, I found a box of it, and I was like, oh, it's all Terminators, a Dreadnought, a Land Raider, and a Storm Raven. I'm in. 100%. Let's go.
A bitch, I'm in.
So I grabbed that, and then as I was putting it together, there was all this stuff coming out about like changes to the rules in a new edition. I was like, I've managed to time this real well. This is great. This is brilliant. I've really managed to mess this up, haven't I? So
yeah.
It was literally the build up to that is why I started doing 40k videos instead of gaming videos, because I was just like, oh, I'm starting to really enjoy this again, and I'm not enjoying gaming as much, but I'm already doing gaming stuff for videos. Well, I could just not do that. I could talk about the thing I'm enjoying instead. I'm just going to do that. Let's just do that instead. And
yeah. And look at that. You're doing it all again now.
Just a times and endless cycle.
yeah. I'll watch it, mate. Next week I'm going to pick up a Yu-Gi-Oh deck, and it's going to be all over for me.
I want to see the Yu-Gi-Oh unboxing stream now. I want to see that be a thing.
Oh mate, every time I see them, because they're trying to bank on like nostalgia, like Pokemon have been doing, and it's like, here's the first deck that Yu-Gi ever had, and it's like, Dark Magician. I love Dark Magician. And I'm like, oh, I could, mate. That'd be fine.
Maybe get back.
My brother's just picked up 2 decks. I was like, oh, maybe we could do that. That'd be cool. They've just re-released Legends of the Blue Eyes White Dragon deck or something, or maybe by just I probably mean in the last year. And I'm like, oh, Legends of the Blue Eyes. I love Blue Eyes White Dragon. He's so cool.
I love that they've just. It could have been any time in the last year. I feel like that was just 40k.
That's how long it's been on my mind.
That's
how long I've been thinking about buying a Yu-Gi-Oh deck. I just need to make sure I've got it on. I've still got Dramatic Crossroads on screen. It's whispering sweet nothings in my ear. Get out!
Just staring you down, willing you to go and buy some.
That is me. I'm Dramatic Crossroads. Do I continue to a great life, or do I go into the dark side and start playing Yu-Gi-Oh cards again?
Come on, that wouldn't be too hard of a channel pivot, would it?
I mean, I put out any video that doesn't have 40k problem or drama in the title, and I'm like, oh, I fell off. It's the end of my career. I'm sure putting Yu-Gi-Oh in the title so will definitely help.
Oh, if you put Yu-Gi-Oh is better than Warhammer 40k, that'll get some views. They won't be good, but
this Warhammer drama has nothing on Yu-Gi-Oh or something like that. That'll work. The Yu-Gi-Oh scandal got worse. Oh mate, I should write these down. These are great titles for videos.
Yeah, definitely. Or you could manufacture the drama though. Instead of you could become a core part.
People say I do that when I literally just read Twitter and I talk about it. It's all, why are you doing this? I'm like, I literally did nothing. All I'm doing is reading the internet.
Just reading you about it. It's literally just telling you what's happening. that's all it
is. Literally. I did a stream last night and it's called like We Have a Real Problem, and it's got like a really badly photoshopped Wraith Knight Imperial Knight on it. And I'm talking about like rule problems that all the competitive groups are playing, and everyone's like, you're so gamey, why are you doing that? And I'm like literally saying what everyone else is saying. I'm just a mouthpiece, okay? I'm like a hand puppet. The competitive players are right up there, and I'm just like, Towering's really broken. Like I didn't say it. I did, but I didn't make it. I didn't make that. Well,
there's definitely every now and again I feel like you'll put something out and it's like the phrase like "don't shoot the messenger" becomes completely lost. It's just like it's the same thing when Forge World like did that last massive clear out they did where the Chaos Demons are gone and they've just like the Age of Sigmar section is now just disappeared. There's nothing in there.
Yeah.
And then these switch away
Age of Sigmar doesn't have a Forge World, so it's only got realms. Don't call it Forge Realm, do they? No.
They should. They should do a separate one.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Like rebrands the website when you click on Age of Sigmar, it says like Forge Realm or something like that. A realm of metal.
That's like
anyway. Sorry, I interrupted.
Now, that's just reminded me of the first time I put those stupid Gargants on Twitter, and someone suggested they be realm of metal Gargants. So I was like, okay, that's awesome. Cool. I'll do that then. And then someone else replied, went, yeah, but they don't look like normal Gargants. It's like, yeah, but I think that's kind of the point of why they said to do it from there. Never mind, whatever.
It's fine. Motherfucker.
I was just like, I don't know how to explain this without feeling like I'm being really mean for some reason, even though I didn't do anything. But like the Forge World, get rid of all the AOS stuff and technically 40k stuff in the Chaos Demon side of things because you could use them for both. And then when they were just like Horus Heresy stuff, no, none of that in 40k. We're not having that. Apart from Relic Terminators, that's fine. Why that exception? I don't know.
It's purely because of packaging, right? The three things that they let in is like the Chaplain Terminator bundle, the Snapfit Dreadnought, and then the Terminators because they've got 40k on the box because they came out so long ago.
It's so bad. But like all I did was tell people about that. And the number of messages that then had to be like one of them was just a flat out like this is your fault style rant, where it was just like I think it was something along the lines of because one of the moderators on the channel removed it because it was like it was so hate filled it almost crossed into parody, but it didn't go. It wasn't funny enough to be parody. Yeah. It was just like a wall, a paragraph of just absolute like bile just being spewed everywhere. And one of the phrases in there was, if people like you didn't keep pushing these and making casual players buy them, even though they're only good for competitive, this wouldn't have happened. And I could not work out what that meant. I reread it about 4 times, and each time I was like, if you did... Wait, hang on.
The pinnacle of competitive Warhammer over there. No offense.
I know. It's like I just couldn't work out what it meant. I was like, but I'm not a competitive. I don't recommend that people buy things.
They're all shit and competitive as well.
I don't think. I was like, are they even that? Are they that good outside of maybe the Contemptor? Is the Contemptor decent, or is it the Leviathan that's decent? I don't even know.
Contemptor, that's it. That's it. One of them.
It was a wild comment, and I was just like, I'm not even like I wasn't even offended on the first few reads because I just didn't understand what it said, and then when I went to check it again, it had been removed. But I was like, all of that because I said, I'm sorry guys, but it looks like if you've got this stuff and you want it for competitive, it's going away. I didn't make the choice. I wasn't like, hey GW, you know what?
Hey G-dubs,
I've got a plan. If you want to really annoy people, do this. I don't have that kind of power. Like, if I did, there would be all sorts of mad shit available from Games Workshop, but I don't have that kind of influence. So,
you know, your community standing's really good. Here's how to fucking ruin it. It's so funny. It's so weird. It's like again, as you say, like it's very similar. I did that video, like I broke 10th edition before it was released. I was talking about like a bunch of issues that just like kind of need clarification. Some of them have been clarified in the way that I said, which is not what I meant. I meant clarification that it doesn't work that way. But anyway, and it's just like, got you competitive, you being so competitive. It's people like you that ruin the game. And it's like, I didn't write this, okay? I'm just talking about it. Again, hand puppet. I'm just saying the words.
Yeah.
Everyone's already seen it. I'm not reinventing the wheel here. Well, sometimes I am, but It's just like, why are you so angry? And I do think it's because like Warhammer is like so closed off. Like as a company, they are so closed off. Like especially like YouTube, especially like with all the comments turned off all the time.
They've changed
And
that now. Have you noticed?
I've noticed like on some of them, I felt like they haven't put auto upload settings on, so they have to manually turn them off, and they forgot. But maybe I'm wrong.
They fully responded to like a whole group of people on a couple of videos recently, where it looks like it was actually a conscious decision, which is honestly a bit weird because they're trying to lock all of the personalities behind Warhammer Plus and make anything like painting or hobby related basically like personalityless. But now they've opened up comments on quite a few videos and are just interacting like any other channel would with the viewers. But instead of it being like a person doing it, you've got like, when I say faceless, that's not necessarily fair, because the Warhammer community team, like, they're on streams and they're in videos and stuff, and they do like live presentations. But
it's still a corporation at the end of the day.
It's still just like the Warhammer account. It just says Warhammer official or whatever. So it's still like, it's like the company being personal and approachable in the comments, whilst also trying to remove any facet of being personal in the actual video itself. And it's
weird.
I don't know, it's just a weird time to do that, I felt like, because when they had like painting tutorials that had people's faces in and everything, and they're actually making it so that it was not intentionally like a personality driven thing, because I don't think they ever necessarily specifically wanted that, or at least they might have done until it bit them repeatedly. But yeah, just the timing of it is just weird, just really weird to decide to do it now.
Feels a bit backwards.
Yeah,
it feels also like... it's like you're like trying to do one thing and then doing the opposite almost.
Yeah,
but it'd be really nice if like they could have a painter talk about what they're doing, talk to the people, not just like hands. Obviously, only hands.
Yeah,
and then like they can reply to the comments that they're in the videos of. That'd be really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, again, you have to remember it is a corporation at the end of the day, so they will make weird decisions all the time.
Yeah.
They are not your friend. They are there. That is just about an advertising platform, and that's okay.
Yeah, it's always been super interesting to me the way they've done like the YouTube side of things. Like all the stuff that I would suggest is not conducive to getting your stuff out there and in front of more people is what they've like actively aimed to do, like taking animations off YouTube and locking them behind Warhammer Plus.
Dumbest thing they've ever done.
It still blows my mind that that's the choice they made for Warhammer Plus, where it was like, here's one of the big draws, animations. Space Marine Astartes, got like millions upon millions of views.
Yeah, 38 million, or maybe more. Maybe more than 38 million views that show had.
And
I remember doing a video about it.
Yeah, and that's not even counting countless reactions. Like, if you look at React content, there are so many channels that reacted to Astartes. There are like massive channels like Corridor Crew that had it featured in one of their videos. And funnily enough, that only happened because it was available on YouTube. And then they went,
I think
we're just going to get rid of all of that. We don't want none of that. Nope. No, you can't have that. If you want to watch it, you've got to pay for it. Why? It's free. It's so much free advertising.
You can watch it free, but you've got to go to the Warhammer community website, to the dark page, one that doesn't hardly loads. The logo doesn't even come up anymore, and then you can watch it for free. It's just says 404 everywhere. The biggest brain thing they could do, because they've been sat on it for so long, is when Astartes 2 comes out, release Astartes 1 on YouTube. That'd be if they do it. If they did that, if you're listening, you can have that one. I've got to stop doing this, but you can have that one for free. Right? If they go Astartes on YouTube, right, on the Warhammer channel, Astartes 2 is behind a paywall, and you'd be like, that's big brain. That's just what you need to do.
I mean, technically, you can watch Astartes on YouTube. It's just from people who didn't make it. It's just people re-uploading it. Which, again,
they haven't taken them down for some reason.
Totally defeats the point of making it locked or like hiding it away from YouTube itself, because now instead of the official channel getting the traffic, just random people who have nothing to do with the company.
The ad revenue they could make. They could probably almost make back what they paid for him, you know? Or at least a good chunk.
It's so bad. I just don't know. It's like, please hire someone to ensure that you don't keep doing this. It's silly. Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
I do think, like, I don't know all of the ins and outs of Games Workshop, but it does as a YouTuber. I don't know if you do. I make YouTube videos. You do
it's all right.
too.
We covered that in the intro.
Oh yeah. The one we didn't do yet. Like it does feel like old man yells at cloud and doesn't know what he's doing. You know, it's like someone's been promoted into that job who's never really like indulged themselves in the YouTube market and like analyzed it, and then they've just gone, well, put this out because it's a video. That's what we did 10 years ago. We'll keep doing it. Oh no, we need to pull that back because now, and it's just like it doesn't make any sense. You could make so much money from that channel by just doing a couple of things right. You know, every time you release a new animation, put the first episode out for free.
Yeah.
Because it's called advertising. You should try it.
Or
you can't just keep putting it on Warcom. Warcom's great. I'm already in Warhammer. I already know it's an animation. What about all the idiots who don't play Warhammer that want to just watch a cool thing?
Yeah. It's like... It's literally a way to promote the product that you're only using to promote to people who are literally already paying you for the privilege of having the product promoted. It's so backwards. And the thing is, as well, you could even say, well, open up memberships on the official Warhammer channel and put the series on there. If you remember, you can watch them. Like, that's what Dropout TV does. So they've got, like... They have their own app, and like you can subscribe to Dropout and watch it through their app. You can also just join their YouTube channel, and you get the shows. And that way, you know, if someone just wants to do everything through YouTube, they can, but they still get to see the stuff. And they put the first episodes of series out on the channel, or they'll upload old content, like a year old or 2 years old. And funnily enough, they're doing really, really well. They're doing super well from it, and then you've got Warhammer, which is just like, no, pay us to watch these things that would make you want to buy models. Yeah. Okay. All right. Sure. Great. Why have we done that again?
It's just so weird.
Lumping it all together as well. It's just another thing where kind of more Warhammer does make sense as a tagline, but it doesn't make sense for a platform that combines animations, tutorials, lore videos, White Dwarf magazines, the Vault, and includes access to the app you use to build your armies. Like, if you had different services, that would make sense, but then you'd need enough content to actually populate multiple different services, and I don't think they have that, and I don't think they know how to make that. So it's just like, this is everything we have. Just cram it into one bizarre package that doesn't make any sense to people who aren't already in the hobby. It's just...
It just makes you think, what are they actually trying to market to? Are they trying to market to new people to watch animations to get you into Warhammer? Or are they just marketing to people who are already indoctrinated like us? Part of the machine.
Yeah.
The silver spoon machine.
They should just hire us. We'll do it.
Yeah. That'd be great. That'd be great. I'd be like, you're shit, get out. Right, you do that. Can't? Right, okay, get out. You know?
The first of
big boss man, get out. You don't know what you're doing. You've been here too long.
I want the first official video on the Warhammer channel to be a drama rundown.
The Warhammer Plus firing scandal. I fired everyone. It's now me. It's only me. You play Warhammer now. You paint. Show your face right now. I demand it.
I know it's set up for hands. Just like go under the camera and just stick your face in there so we can see it, so we know who's doing it.
Yeah, exactly. You can do this. You literally need 2 cameras. You have like 20. 2 camera set up. Easy peasy. All Gucci.
Yeah. I'll tell you what as well. Did you watch the battle report they did? For like the 10th edition battle report, the first kind of official one they did.
I had a quick skip through. I won't lie, I've never signed up to Warhammer Plus. I only watched the free stuff.
That's fair.
But that was free. That one went.
I thought that was actually a good battle report, and like the 2 guys on it were entertaining and they were interesting. And as I was watching it, I was just like, it's such good promotion that you're not giving to so many people. And I feel like that with so much of the stuff that they do is like, this would be great to show someone who is on the fence. This would be fantastic. Why aren't you doing that?
They did put that on YouTube.
They did. Like, it's... But
bloody hell, someone used half a brain cell there. It's great.
If they did that with all of them, It would be fantastic, but they don't. They don't. They
don't.
It just blows me away constantly.
Very sad. Very sad.
One of those things that I feel like you could make a video on every other week. And the bizarre decision for the last 2 weeks that came out of Warhammer, like Warhammer Plus or Games Workshop as a whole, is this, and it would always be, why is that video not public? Why have you not promoted that on this channel? Why have you not done this when someone has brought up a legitimate concern? Like, it's all stuff that just goes all the way back to you could like stand to communicate even more with with people. Like,
exactly. That's always their biggest problem is communication. I think they're just so scared of being public and being, you know what, we did kind of cock up here, you know. But I guess like whenever you got like a shareholding company like that is making so much money, you can't, like, as much as a community, we'd really appreciate it, but like shareholders be like, oh my god, pull out, it's going down.
I mean, it's just more evidence that, you know, capitalism as a system has failed. So
Capitalism is dog shit, everyone. It does not work. And if all you naysayers out there, shut up. You don't know what you're talking about. You're part of the machine. They're not the silver spoon machine, the rubbish machine.
I was going to say, you're not even getting the free stuff to complain about. Like,
exactly.
Come on.
My silver spoon machine would beat your rubbish machine in a fight all day. Okay? My machine's bigger than your machine. My dad's bigger than your dad.
I'm not sure I'm a fan of my machine is bigger than your machine. That feels like that can be taken out of context really easily.
Deadly. I mean, it's already demonetized, mate. It's just the only way it's down.
It's already demonetized.
The only way is down.
So
down with capitalism. That's what I said. I think you all agreed with me.
So okay, I'm getting an actual structure here. We start it off with just capitalism is bad. Then we do the intro, and then we go straight into talking about Yu-Gi-Oh, and then everything else can remain untouched after that.
This is the best podcast ever.
Such a great filter system for what people are prepared to put up with. It's like it's like a test of tolerance. It's like, can you make it to where this starts to make sense? If so,
well done.
You're going to be grand.
It's the litmus test.
If not, I get it. It's fine.
You know what? Fair play. Fair enough. Most can't. Don't know why you are. Don't know why you're listening at home. What are you doing, you weirdo? What are you talking? We're listening to us rubbish.
It's like, why are you here? Same thing that literally I said yesterday on stream. I don't know why you've been watching this. Which, again, bad thing to say out loud when, you know, everything you do revolves around people watching what you do.
50 people are like, you know what? I don't either about.
We don't get it either. Let's clear it out.
You know what?
Do you know the one question that I had written down, and it was purely because of skimming through your stream yesterday, was how difficult is it to organise tournaments? And that's the one thing that I had written down, and at no point has that actually felt relevant to what we're talking about, which is kind of impressive.
Yeah, it's right hard. Anyway, Yu-Gi-Oh!
The thing is, that's not far off the answer that I expected. I genuinely thought it would be, yeah, it's really difficult, and then it would just be gone. Gone.
You know what? Yeah, it is. Oh, mate. This would be fun. I can answer that question if you want me to. If you want to move on to that,
I feel like it's really hard. It probably does answer it, doesn't it?
If you really want to know,
it's not detailed, but it's one of those ones where it's not detailed, but it is true.
Yeah. Just short answer, yes. Long answer, yes.
Yeah. Technically correct. The best kind of correct.
Yeah. Oh, mate. I thought organising tournaments was difficult. Try organising tournament on the release day of a new edition. Honestly, chaos.
Yeah, I'm both impressed and surprised that you've gone for that, because I've just always assumed that it would be really hard just to pull all of that sort of thing together in general, because trying to organise more than 5 people to do anything, I feel like, is something of a nightmare, and that's before you even get into like locations and having all the scenery and organisers and people there to actually look over everything, and it just becomes, I assume, a logistical nightmare pretty much. not necessarily straight away, because I'm assuming by this point, because you've done it fairly often, you have a good grasp on all of that. But
Yeah.
I would guess that there's just parts that never necessarily get easy. You just know how to deal with them better.
Yeah, because a lot of it is once you've done one, if you are just rinse and repeat, you are probably okay because you've done it already. You've got all your terrain sorted, you've got all your map packs sorted, you know what you're doing in your missions and stuff. And it is just a case of putting everyone in a room and making them play Warhammer and then answering rules questions.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes you get nefarious people, you get miscreants who cause you problems.
Little
and
scamps.
Then you have to you have to put your big boy pants on and go deal with them, which is never fun. But what makes and breaks tournament organizing is when you are running a tournament, you have to remember that there are going to be people who take the piss. Probably the best way to put it, without going into too many details about things I've had to deal with in the past. But there are people who take the piss, and it's your job to deal with it. Because if you don't deal with it, you are just letting it fester, and it will just get worse. Because one person does it, that someone else finds out, and they're like, "Well, nothing happened last time, so I'm going to do it as well." Because at the end of the day, there's prizes and trophies and ITC points and whatever, So people are going to try their luck. It's just one of those things. There's knobheads out there that will. So that's the thing that you can't plan for. You just kind of have to deal with it at the time.
Yeah.
But actual general organization of getting a tournament together, for me, it's not, for a lot of them, it is just a case of just getting the terrain out, making sure I've got food ordered, getting trophies ready, because I make all the trophies myself and stuff like that. So a lot of it's quite fine. Obviously, at the end of the year, I'm running a 120 person event, which is more than double of the size I've ever run, really, in 9th edition, and now we're moving into a new edition. So that's pretty scary, because that's a lot more commitment, money wise. It's a lot more expensive just to get the venue. Never mind having to expand as well.
Yeah.
So that's pretty crazy, but it's going well. I'm just trying to plug it. So if you want to come play some Warhammer in Sheffield on the 28th, 29th of October, sorry, carry off. You can play some Warhammer, and I will shout at you and make you do fun stuff, and I'll probably give you prizes. Shout you, what are you doing? You can't do that, stupid. I don't really.
Got a megaphone ready for it, just right up in the face. No.
yeah, literally. I'm like, what are you doing? Why? No. Never. How's this rule work? I don't know. Read it, idiot. I don't do that.
It's Games Workshop's rules. They're watertight. There's no possible route.
I just am up it. These rules are the best. Simplified, not simple. But yeah, so that's pretty scary. But a lot of tournament organizing, it's just getting it's that first hurdle of actually putting it on, having the right terrain, having the right idea, getting the right people in, and then it's just like most things. It's if you keep doing it and you keep trying to improve here and there, it just kind of falls into place a lot of the time. I always have a mad panic. I'm running a tournament this weekend, obviously because that's when 10th edition releases, and this has been a pain in the bum because it's you can either keep it as 9th, no one cares. People don't want to come because they're I'm playing 10th now. People don't want to know about it, and we're all playing 10th now. But then I go, okay, we can play 10th instead. That's cool. Oh, well, my army's not ready for 10th. I'm like, okay, cool. I don't have the right models. Can I bring unpainted stuff? I'm like, no, stop trying to be gamey. Just bring the army you've already got. It'll probably work. You don't have to win this tournament. You can just learn how to play. But then also having everything available that people actually need, because you can't be turn up with your mission pack because it's on pre-order of the day of the tournament. And you can't, and the box that has the mission pack in, which you may or may not have ordered, arrives on the day of the tournament. So I'm trying to get mission decks for everyone, and that's being a pain in the arse. I'm actually, after this podcast, I'm going to go and finish that off and make sure it's all sorted, because it's been a pain. So it's just, but with anything like that, when you're in any sort of event, you are going to have spanners thrown at you, and you just kind of have to just take up the chin, work it out on the day. You know what I mean? So yeah. So yes, it is difficult, but a lot of it does it's just going through the motions. You know? Get your trophies ordered, get your food ordered if you're doing it. Make sure your terrain's up to scratch. If it's broken, get it fixed before the day. Because what I'll end up doing is, like, obviously the tournament's on Saturday. On Friday, I'll probably end up going to the venue quite early with my hot glue gun, and I'll be like opening every box and like smashing hot glue in every gap I can find to make sure it's all not going to fall apart halfway through. But yeah, and then my Forge world, my Forge realm, my 3D printing farm is just like wearing away, making more terrain because I'm expanding and making all the terrain myself.
I've seen pictures of your terrain operation and just like massive tables worth of the same like the same kind of L-shaped ruins and stuff.
Yeah.
Just the logistics of that I'm looking at and I'm like, oh god, I feel like if one failed I'd have a nervous breakdown. I'd be like, oh no, that's it, we're done. What do we do?
Yeah, it's that's been like a bit of a learning curve as well, because it's like normally if I'm like printing for a tournament, like because I did all this essentially in the pandemic, so the first tournament after the pandemic, that's where I started using like standardized maps for every table. Obviously, like in tournaments, you usually have like mirrored tables, so like both sides are the same, so it's fair for both players.
Yeah.
But what I did was, rather than having the same map on every table, I have like 5 different types on every table, on every other table. So like the top 5 tables are all different. They're all different map packs from other places. So like one might be like based on the World Team Championships, and one might be based on the London Grand Tournament, and then one might be based on Prague Open or the Game Mats like map pack. So like loads of tournaments have their own maps, but every table's the same. And I was like, you know what if I made every 5 tables the same and then did that instead?
Yeah.
So then you gotta like math out, like, okay, how can I need this table has 12 terrain pieces. There's 4 of one of them. I'm doing 120 tables, so I divide that by 5, times it by 4. That's how many terrain pieces I need to do. Right. Machines start and all the nozzles go. Call back. all the nozzles just start. They're just going and they're just like, no, please not again. I need 65 of this one piece. Print away, sir. Print away. So yeah, that's been pretty nutty, to be honest. Because at first I was like, I'll have this machine do this piece, I'll have this machine do this piece, and then I got to a point where machines were just sat there waiting because they needed to do 2 pieces and the other one needed to do 5.
Yeah,
you know. So I guess that's just like an experience in being a manufacturer with only 3D printers, which has been quite weird as well.
Although now, if you decide to just like, okay, we're going to move on to completely new scenery. Can you just like get rid of, just sell it all, just chuck it on eBay and be like, there you go. Here's an entire tournament's worth of scenery.
Yeah, I could say it like box, because it's all boxed. You know what I mean? I have it all in like really equal boxes. It's literally like drop it on, empty it. That's a table.
Yeah.
So if I ever got out of the game, I could be like, does anyone want to buy an entire tournament's worth of terrain? Or do you want to buy 5 separate mini tournaments of terrain with all the same terrain type? Because I have that, because I can split it up, you know? But
I've seen a few people now that just sell like an entire tabletop. Just like, okay, here's a battlefield in a box. It's everything you need, and then that's the charge for it, and you just grab it. So when you move into Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments, you've got a way of
that needs a lot less terrain.
Yeah.
That'll be a lot cheaper to run, a lot easier to. Oh, maybe I've been doing the wrong thing. Maybe I should have been doing the wrong tournaments all this time. He just put tables out. They bring their own mats.
Yeah, you don't have to provide mats.
I have to spend £65 per table just for a mat for them to play on. Oh my god!
That's the way to manufacture some Yu-Gi-Oh / Warhammer drama. What you do is you switch the tournament for the launch day of 10th to a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament 48 hours before.
Yeah,
and then that's like...
I said it was a learn to play tournament.
Yeah,
what game.
That is like fuel for at least a month's worth of content doing that.
Yeah, probably.
You'd be grand. It'd be fine.
I mean, career over. The refund exodus would probably bankrupt me. But
worth it? No, not really worth it. No.
No, mate, not worth it at all.
Tell me, why did you decide to just destroy your entire channel? It would be a laugh.
Bankrupt my entire business. Yeah, just.
Sometimes you've just
great me.
You just got to do it for the crack. You just got to do it.
Yeah. Yeah. My life as a whole.
but now that you can read sheet music, you can move into being a musician. So,
mate,
really,
I can't read sheet music anymore. I was like, I don't know a long time ago. Oh dear, yes, like 11 years ago, 12 years ago. I can't read sheet music anymore.
I'm honestly glad that I've met someone else who used to be able to do it and can't, because I'm in the same position.
As I said, something about a cow. Can't remember the rest.
I don't even remember that. All I remember is that I needed it to be able to do like bass grades when I was a teenager.
Oh yeah, sure.
I used to play the violin as well. That's gone. And I was just like, okay, well, music's fun. I'll do music, and then got GCSE music, and got fairly high up towards maybe doing it at uni or college. And then for whatever reason, I was like, I just don't want to do this anymore. And all of the information has vanished. There's just nothing. Yeah. It's tabs or nothing. If I get something and it's like, here's the actual notes, I'm like, I don't know what that means. I used to be able to read it fine, but now it's just shapes, and that's it. I've just got nothing.
Yeah.
It's been replaced with important information, like which bit comes from which bloody GW kit. And...
Indoctrinated by the machine. Yeah. It's all comes full circle. It all comes round. To this podcast, it all comes back round. Yu-Gi-Oh! Machines and capitalism is dead. No, we don't. I don't like J.K. Rowling.
and free stuff is a curse. That too.
Yeah, free stuff is a curse. I agree. Suffering from success.
I'm going to make that the title. Just free stuff is a curse. That's with the whole video title.
Oh mate. Twitter will have a field day.
It's at the I don't know. The responses to this are going to be super interesting. I can't wait to see. I'm going to do a prediction that at least 4 people aren't going to be fully aware that it's a joke. I'm suspecting that there's going to be at least 4.
At least 4.
At least
That's
4.
Like, wow. Yeah, but yeah, it's like that meme, isn't it? It's like Julius Caesar died is named after a salad, and it happened more than 20 years ago. It's like, yes, you're correct, but not technically correct.
Yeah,
but there's way more. It's going to be way more than that. There's like 400 people are going to be like, what the fuck? These guys are wankers.
I've got faith. I've got faith in my lot, all right? My gang will be okay. They'll
brave.
They'll get it.
Soldier. Good luck, everyone. If you scroll down from this video, good luck. I believe in you.
There we go. That's the first clip. Right, I'm going to do the intro, and then that'll be a great.
And then you're going to do the outro.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, welcome to this podcast. Bye.
This is going to be so much worse to edit than I thought it was going to be.
Sorry.
I really had it down as a linear thing, and it's going to be at least one point we're going to go to the end to go back to the beginning. But it's fine. It's my own fault. You know, I said there was a structure, and that I'd abandoned it completely.
I mean, what else? This morning. I was like 10:30. He's like, yeah, there's no structure. And I was like, okay.
Yep. I mean,
and it happened.
Why bother? Just embrace the nonsense. It's how it was always going to happen. So, welcome to the Hobby Happy Hour. This is a podcast where I sit down with a friend, old or new, to talk about not sort of the hobby, kind of point. I think we touched on it like twice, which is rapidly becoming the standard.
You mean we will touch on it twice?
We will touch on it twice. I'm definitely not recording this at the end of the episode, so that's fine. My guest today is Mikey from Hellstorm Wargaming, and
hello.
I can tell you right now that we play this completely by the structure, by the book. No tangents, no surprises.
The book of chaos.
Enjoy this completely standard episode where everything goes exactly the way you would think it would. And also, thank you very much for watching this episode of the Hobby Happy Hour. I'm just going to cut that in half and then put it one bit at the start, one bit at the end. And that's the best you're going to get. So,
well done. Wow, this is a great podcast.
You know what? I really thought that I would be able to make it less chaotic than the stuff I normally do, but it is actually just worse, which is really impressive in a way.
Your influence is just so powerful.
It's impossible to resist. So, Mikey's channel has been on the screen the entire time. You've been able to read it. It's been spelt out for you. It's in the description. It's in the pinned comment. And the massive tournament at the end of the year, if you send me the link, will also be in those, so you can get your tickets now. Thank you very much for joining me. That was an absolute mess. I loved every second of it.
It was great. Thank you so much for having me on, buddy. This is a massive pleasure.
Best
podcast I've been on. Except for all the other ones I've been on, because I don't want to offend them, but, you know, allegedly the best one I've been on.
I'm pretty sure the others would have been far more sensible.
I enjoyed the chaos.
It's what we're here for at this point. If you want to see this early, then members, Patreon, both of those things, check them out if you'd like to. Thank you everyone who's currently a member. Do it, see you've been told. It's not just me doing it, other people say it as well, okay? It's just
subscribe. Use the affiliate links. Use the affiliate links. Subscribe to Patreon and memberships. Right now.
Both. The benefits are the same for both, but do
say
both.
Super thanks. Right? £1.99 super thanks. Kirioth and Mikey, this is so good. Thank you. I really enjoyed this. And then you can like put a little hand puppet emoji because you didn't say the words we. Do it.